Good afternoon to one and all present. On behalf of Government Engineering College Bhavnagar, I, Dr. Himanshu Srivastav, coordinator of this online lecture series Phase 3, welcome you all on this virtual platform of learning. Today with us we have Dr. Manisha ma'am. She is an assistant professor at GEC Bhuj. Ma'am, on behalf of Principal GEC Bhavnagar, Professor Dr. M.G. Bhatt sir, and whole staff as well as students, I welcome you for this
Thank you, sir.
online session.
Thank you. Thank you.
And it gives me immense pride. I'm using that word pride because to collect all the teachers into one platform really it shows the the good sensations, the goodwill, as well as the good nature of all the teachers of English that we decided to go on air to record syllabus of a very nice subject called PCE, Professional Communication and Ethics, which is offered by GTU in SEM 3. And we decided that obviously every college has two or three teachers. Some colleges have one teacher also. So why not create a hub of knowledge where every teacher comes up and conducts a session uh, so that this knowledge would be shared across the state. When we deal with topics like group discussion, these are not restricted to a particular subject or a particular paper or a particular year because these topics are lifelong. And that is why we have, really, when we were drafting the syllabus and all, we were really very keen to inculcate maximum people skill, which is popularly known as soft skills, so that when our students they go for this practical world, they go for job, these things are going to happen, and then they are real. They are good at group discussions. If it is a selection criteria, they do well, and in future also when there are professional group discussions for the company on the behalf of the company if they are representing, they are definitely doing well. So with this note, I welcome you ma'am on
Thank
this platform. The students are on our YouTube channel, it is live. Later on I'll share that link as well. So if students you have any question, you drop down your questions into the comment box into the last section of our lecture note. We will definitely, I would like to raise those questions on your behalf, and ma'am would be addressing those questions. Ma'am, welcome once again, and the show is all yours. Yes, ma'am.
Am I audible?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Okay. Thank you, sir. In fact, your this venture has inspired us that we are also thinking that from the next year we would also be, planning something like this, and we would also like to invite you as an expert. uh, Fine. So we are here to discuss, or actually, let us say, to talk about the group discussion. Um, Now, generally, when we are talking about group discussion, so the general idea that we have related to group discussion, that is something that where most of the time, people think that there is, going to be a group of people, and then they would be given a kind of a topic, and they would be discussing that, particular topic where they share their ideas or their point of views with another person. Now, the concept of group discussion as such, if we are, going to talk about, then group discussion is something for, or generally they are, organized by the organizations for interview processes. They are also organized for decision making, or sometimes they are also organized for problem solving. Now, group discussion is, from the perspective of, if we talk about group discussion for the students, then right now the group discussion is what the way is going to be used by the companies or the organization as a tool for their personality test, their, the elimination process, because group discussion is something where in interview process most of the time organizations use group discussion for the as you know the interview process is divided into three phases, where we appear for the written test, then we appear for the group discussion. And group discussion is used by companies as an elimination a process, where they would be selecting very few candidates who are uh, good in certain criteria, and then they would call these students for the final stage that we know as the personal interview or face-to-face interview. Now that is the first part of group discussion. Now when we talk about group discussion at large, then when people are working in the organizations, they are already experts of certain field. At that time group discussion is also used, where the a process that we know as promotion, that is actually going to take place, where they again have to appear for the group discussion, where they would be evaluated through the process of group discussion, and then they would be given the position of the responsibility. So as such, the idea that we have as group discussion, where people just meet and discuss the idea, is not something that is very basic idea. But group discussion is actually used in the interview processes for the selection of the proper candidates. Then it is what the way group discussion, the way Himanshu sir mentioned, that it is something that what the way stays with us, because when you are working in the institution, you are already part of the institute. There also you are what the way called for the group discussion, where your expertise is needed. So you have to appear for the group discussion with other experts, and then you have to come out with a kind of a solution of the problem, or you have to share your ideas. Now we keep on talking about group discussion, but then what is the exact definition, how to define that we know as GD? Now there are certain institutes, as such there are many institutes who have given us the idea or the definition of group discussion. But when you evaluate all these definitions, then we actually come at a kind of a conclusion, where we can say that group discussion is the first thing that we have to understand in group discussion is that the way it is actually defined by our IITs. They say that group discussion is an interactive process, where a group of individuals come together to exchange ideas, opinions, and information on a specific topic. So from the first sentence itself, we can actually find out that group discussion is not a one way process. It is actually an interactive process, where the participants come together, they discuss the idea or the specific topics that is given to them. They would be sharing their opinions that they have, or the information that they are having, with other participants. Then the goal of a group discussion is to arrive at a collective decision or solution that is acceptable to all members of the group. So the second sentence itself says that group discussion, or the goal of group discussion, is what they actually try that they come out with a collective decision, or a solution. And this solution is again something that is accepted by all the members of the group. It is not something where half of the members are not actually agreeing with the solution, and half of the members are what the way saying that okay, this is the particular solution that we have to come up with. So as such, if you would go through the definitions that I have given here, the one particular thing that we can find out from all the three definitions, and all the other definitions also, I'm not saying that these are the three for the final definitions that one should follow, but the definitions that are available, or how group discussion is defined by the reputed institutes, it also says that group discussion is, first we have to understand that it is a two-way process of communication. Then the way, it is not something where you just share your ideas on your own, or you are having your individual thoughts. You share your ideas, your opinions with other people. You also accept their ideas, their opinions, you listen to them carefully, and then the way, when all the people who are to be, they agree on a particular solution, then we say that okay, this is the final conclusion of the discussion, where all the candidates who are participating in a group discussion, or all the experts who are participating in the group discussion, they would come out with a common conclusion, where all the group is what by standing as a unity, as one, say that this is the conclusion of the particular topic. So when we want to define group discussion, these are the things that we have to keep in mind, that it is the interactive process. People share their ideas, and then the way they come out with a common conclusion where all the members are agreeing with each other. Now, generally, why do people, when we say, okay, this is the definition, people share ideas, but why do we need to actually organize a group discussion or GD for that matter? Now, when we say why do we we go for group discussion, people actually arrange group discussions. So the first thing that we have to keep in mind related with the group discussion is the objective of group discussion is what. The way that is, there are so many objectives. The first one that we can talk about is what, to be through group discussion actually we try to collect the data of the particular टॉपिक और द प्रॉब्लम, कि भाई कोई भी चीज़ जो है वो आपको दी गई है, कोई भी टॉपिक दिया गया है और उसके बारे में आप क्या करना चाहते हैं, तो भाई आप जो है वो डेटा कलेक्ट करना चाहते हैं. यू मस्ट हैव कम अक्रॉस, there are many researchers who actually send out the questionnaires that they have prepared. Now what they are trying to do here is that through this kind of questionnaires they are trying to collect data from the audience. Then obviously it is what the way it is actually to through the brainstorming you are trying to find out the new ideas. You want to have the input of the other people, what how they are looking at particular matter, how they are actually evaluating certain matters. So for that also group discussion is very handy when you want to find out, okay fine, this is the particular thing that you are thinking or you are looking at the point in one way, how other people are looking or evaluating or analyzing the same thing from their, or what are their point of view. So group discussion is very handy in that manner also. Then obviously group discussion is one thing that most of the time discussed is what the way it is to select a candidate for hiring in a company. Then there are certain educational institutes also who actually conduct or who actually arrange group discussion when the admission process is going on. Certain really well established institutes also would the way arrange group discussion when the admission process is going on, because they want to select the best students. So they would be what the way for the admission process also they go for the group discussion or the arrangement of the group discussion. So most of the time the objective of the group discussion is what the way they actually want to find out that what are the ideas of the other people. They also want to see to it that what is the the how they perceive the common idea, or how people are evaluating the same situation, what is the point of view of the another person. When there is a specific problem you want to find out a solution also, for that also what the group discussion is actually arranged. The purpose or the objective of group discussion, to the first is obviously to reach a solution on an issue of a concern, then to generate new ideas for a problem, for solving a problem. Then the way I earlier mentioned, the way when you appear for the interview process, the interview process actually takes place in three ways. The good institutes, the well established, the MNCs, they would be actually arranging the interview process in the three steps. The first one is going to be the written test for the candidates. Then the second stage is going to be the group discussion, where they would be selecting the particular candidates for the particular job. So the purpose of group discussion is to select the applicants after the written test for job, or even in the educational institutes the group discussion is used. Then to group discussion also helps in training our own selves in the interpersonal skills, because when you participate in a group discussion you are already there as an individual, but you are part of the group also. So you are going to be judged on the basis of on the basis of your interpersonal skills, how you are actually communicating with another person, how you are what type of body language you are, what type of tone you are using when you are speaking. So there are there are actually various interpersonal skills that that would be evaluated, and you can also judge yourself, or you can also train yourself how much good you are at the interpersonal skills when you participate in a group discussion. So purpose of group discussion is to find out a solution, obviously, then to generate new ideas, The way I said, it is used in the interview processes, and then the way to train ourselves for the interpersonal skills. Now, when we say group discussion, then group discussion is mainly, it is said that there are what to be three main types of group discussion. The first one is the topic based GD, the second one is case based GD, and the third one is the article based GD. So people keep on talking about, okay, group discussion, but then the way we have to actually be very much sure that what type of group discussion is actually arranged or is being conducted, and then the way on the basis of that you can you can actually prepare for your group discussion. So particularly there are they are actually conducted in the three way, or there are three types of group discussions. The first one is topic based, then it is the case based, and the third one is the article based. So we are going to discuss all three of them one by one. Topic based group discussion is nothing else but where the particular topic is given to you. For example, I have given here the harmful effects of plastics on the environment. So when the group discussion is arranged from the point of view of a topic, so they would be actually they would be giving you the topic. Sometimes it might be on the spot that they would actually ask you to appear for the group discussion on the particular day and time, and you have to go there, and they would be they would be signing the topic there and then only. Sometimes it might happen that the organizer might actually give the topic well in advance. So, but the topic based GD is always going to be the practical topics that are that are there, and they would be they would be giving you the topic for the discussion. But then the way topic based GDs can be further classified into three categories. A, the way it is going to be the way factual group discussion. The second topic based GD is there can be controversial group discussions, and the third idea is related with the abstract GDs. Now, when we say group discussion, again, in three forms or subdivided into three forms. The way when the factual GD is actually conducted, the factual GD is always going to be in the sense of the way these are informative GDs only that require it requires your comprehensive knowledge about the GD. So the topic is such where when you actually participate in a discussion, you have to see to it that all the ideas or the information or the data that you are sharing with another person is something that is based on the facts only. For example, we have said that the economic growth of India since independence. So since independence, you have to you have to gather all the data, you have to enhance your knowledge, you have to see to it that you are having all the data collected at your hand, and then whatever you are presenting as your idea or as the information, that is backed by the fact. It is not something that out of the air you are pulling out the idea and you are presenting that with the another person. The second form of topic based GD is related with the controversial GDs. That now here the topic itself are they are something where or connected with the controversy. So here they actually give this kind of topic because they want to see the ability of a candidate, that how much capable the candidate is to handle a situation when the topic itself is a controversial, how much they are capable to control their anger, or they display how much patience they are having, or they whether they are able to have the critical thinking pattern or not. So controversial GDs are actually or the controversial topics are given when they want to see to it that the capacity of a candidate to handle the situation, to control the anger, display patience, and think critically. For example, I have taken here from the beginning only in India, even in today's scenario also, the topic that is related with arranged marriage or love marriage is what the way is something that is what the way even till date it is a controversial topic. So these kind of topics are actually selected for the controversial that or topic based group discussions. The third is related with the abstract GDs. Now these GDs are based on certain conceptual topics or the ideas, and these or the abstract kind of talk group discussion is actually arranged when they want to evaluate your faculty of creative and critical or the analytic ability, how much capable you are to make the sense out of the abstract idea that is given to you. So the topic that would be given here would be what the way something that is not existing, that is not actually what the way, that is actually something that is not factually existing, something that is not again what the way not would be a kind of a thing where you can actually what the way give the data as such, abstract idea or abstract topic. For example, challenges before humanity, or for example any word that is given to you. That they would just simply say, for example, the existence of aliens. So this is something that is what okay, that is not having as such any kind of factual evidences. Whatever is available in the market, that is something that is what the way made out the things. Now, so in abstract GDs, the concept or the topic that would be given to the candidate would itself be what the way something that is what the way not having any kind of a concrete or the solid base. So you have to what to be they, because they want to check the ability of the candidate, that how much they can actually what to be come out with the, or can turn this conceptual idea into the concrete one with a solution. So they would be giving what, or they would be actually arranging the abstract GDs. Now, the second type of GD that we talked earlier is case-based GD. Now, case-based GDs are somewhere where the group members are actually given or presented to a case study where the group members have to they would be asked to meet at a particular venue. They would be given the case. They have to analyze the case in the given period. Candidates would be discussing the case study that is given to them among themselves, and then they would try to come to a solution that okay, this is the case. For example, I have taken here that a reputed car manufacturer discovers a defect in one of its models after 2 lakh units have already been sold. Should the company issue a recall or silently fix issues during servicing? Now, so this is what okay, this is a kind of a case study. So the GD would be, it can be arranged on what okay, consumer trust or the versus the financial loss. So what is going to happen here? So with there is a kind of a case that is there, and this case would be given to the group members or the participants, and they have to what they have to evaluate and analyze, study this case. Then they have to discuss this case among themselves, and then they have to come out with a conclusion that what the company actually should be doing when this kind of situation actually happens. So these are the case based GDs. The third type of GD is article based GD. Now, here in article based GD, what happens is the candidates who are invited for the group discussion, the topic can be from any field. It can be politics, it can be education, it can be sports, uh, but they would be given the article from the newspaper or the newspaper the columns, the journal articles, or any kind of a printed material that is given to them. These articles would always be short, but then the way they would be given the time to read this article. They have to examine this article. They have to discuss this article, analyze this article, and then they would be actually discussing their thoughts, their conclusion that they have drawn from reading this article. They would be actually they would be sharing their ideas, and then they would be discussing that. So each of the member would read the article on their own. They would find out certain or they would form their opinion related to the article, their thoughts that they have related to the article, and then they would be sharing those thoughts, their opinion, with other people, and then they would be discussing this article or the as a group discussion. So here generally what happens, so the community people actually evaluate candidates on the basis of what, with their analytical ability. After reading the article, what are your analysis, what have what are your findings, what are your opinions that you have formed after reading the article. For example, I have given here the article, AI is reshaping jobs faster than expected. Now this article was actually is actually from BBC, MIT Tech Review. It is MIT Tech Review. So you can discuss this article from the point of view or the angle of what should governments impose regulations to protect jobs from AI. So here, what would happen? The way here there is nothing like the abstract idea or any kind of data or any kind of topic that is given to you, but a well printed material is given to the candidates. They have to read the article, column that is given, and they have to come out or form their own ideas, their own point of views, and then they would be discussing those ideas among each other, and then they would come out with a conclusion. So when we are talking about group discussion, then there are actually three types of group discussion: topic based, then case based, and then there is the article based. Now, when a group discussion is actually discussed, then what are the prerequisites? What are the things that as a candidate we have to prepare for? What should we be doing? When we participate in a group discussion to be successful in a group discussion. So the first thing that is required to participate in a group discussion is related with what? The way you should have the prior knowledge, you should have the proper understanding, you should have the facts, you should have the experience, you should have the basic knowledge related to the topic that is given to you for the discussion. For example, the way we say that work from home is now new normal. That is actually what nowadays actually it is prevailing in the market, the work from home. Now you should see to it that you are having the at least the basic knowledge that is related with this particular topic. So the first thing that is required on the part of the candidate who is participating in the group discussion, so you should have the or you should be well prepared before you directly jump into the discussion. You should prepare for that. You should have the basic understanding, you should have the basic knowledge related to the topic that is given to you for the discussion. The another important thing for the candidate who is participating in a group discussion is what? Okay, that is the requirement that you should have the active listening ability. You should listen to the speakers very attentively, because sometimes it might happen that you miss a point and then you are directly jumping into the discussion. It would not lead towards a fruitful discussion. So you should have the capacity that you are listening to the speaker in a very attentive manner, so that you are when you listen to the another person, you are not only actually gaining the idea or the information from the another person, but you are also showing the interest. You are also ensuring that you understand the point that is being discussed. You also ensure that you are paying attention to the person who is speaking at that time. The third thing is obviously the effective communication. You should have the clear, concise, and meaningful exchange of ideas using suitable words, tone, and structure to achieve the intended purpose. You should know that just speaking is not going to be something that would impress your peers. You should learn that your communication is effective. You are sharing your ideas in a clear manner, in a meaningful way. And the third thing, group discussion is not just the evaluation of your verbal communication. It is automatically related with the non-verbal aspect as well. Now, when we are talking about group discussion, though you are going to be evaluated on the basis of the verbal aspects, obviously. Then the second thing is you are also going to be evaluated on the basis of the non-verbal aspects. So your body language should always be appropriate. Your gestures, your postures, your facial expressions, your eye contact, all these should always work in a manner that they are supporting your spoken words. When there is coordination between your verbal and the non-verbal aspects, your message will automatically convey the confidence, the respect, and the clarity. So the four things that are that are actually important, and we should prepare for the well in advance for participating in a group discussion. So first, you should have the basic knowledge related to the topic. You should develop the capacity to listen attentively, paying attention to the another person. The third is obviously you should have or you should learn how to communicate in an effective manner, how to deliver the message in a clear manner. And the fourth one is you should have the appropriate body language. Now, when we are talking about group discussion, obviously people keep on talking about, okay, fine, chalo, group discussion is there, but then what are the evaluation criteria? These are the things that we should keep in mind when we are participating in a group discussion. But then the way, how do the judges or the evaluators evaluate the candidate? So in group discussion, any person who is participating in the group discussion, they are evaluated on two bases, right? So the first one is going to be you as an individual, because you are what, you are the candidate, you are participating in a group discussion, but your individuality is there. So you as a person. So the first evaluation criteria would be what, the candidate as an individual, and the second evaluation criteria would be candidate as a part of the group. What type of group behavior you are projecting when you have participated in a group discussion. So group discussion evaluation criteria actually takes place at two levels. A first, that is candidate as an individual, and the second, that is candidate as a part of the group. Now candidate as an individual, so what are the attributes, or what are the points on the basis of which they are actually evaluated. So the first one is what, the depth of your content. That is what, the knowledge should be thorough and cover multiple dimensions of the topic. So when you participate in a group discussion, you as an individual would be obviously going to be evaluated on the basis of how much knowledge you have related to the topic that is given to you. For example, I have taken here in a GD on climate change, quoting facts on global warming trends and India's renewable energy policy source depth. When you are having your, when you are putting your ideas, or you are sharing your idea with another person, you are not sharing your ideas just because it is your idea. No, you are actually baking your idea by giving a certain facts. You are quoting certain people, you are quoting certain source, and then you are presenting your idea with in the group. So this is the first thing that person should understand, that when you are participating in a group discussion, the first thing that you would be evaluated as an individual would be the depth and the range of your content. कि भाई चलो, how much knowledge do you have related to the topic, and then all the related areas as well, or the multiple dimensions of a topic. Then the second thing is your O is going to be your reasoning ability. Now reasoning ability is actually an ability how much capable you are to analyze, synthesize, compare, and logically evaluate information, right? So if you are given a topic where you have to compare the benefits of AI in the education, so you should have the capacity to discuss both the aspects, that what are the benefits of introducing AI in the education, and then the way what are the risk factor also that are involved when we are introducing AI in the education system. This would give your capacity as an individual to actually evaluate both the aspects when you are discussing the particular topic. Then the third is your organizational acumen, where you should have the capacity to logically, present your idea in a structured manner. So we know that any presentation or any discussion should always begin with you introduce the topic, then you go for the main discussion, and then you go for the sometimes you discuss the impacts of the particular topic, then you go for the conclusion. So it should always be it should always be in a logically structured manner, where you, and it should have the convincing power as well, that whatever you are presenting, that is that is well structured, that is having the logicality in itself. Then obviously the individual is going to be evaluated on the basis of their capacity of communication skills, how much clear you are when you are sharing your ideas, how much effective you are when you are sharing or what type of words you are using, what type of tone you are using, and your body language, whether your body language is actually gelling with the words that you are using, whether it is gelling with your verbal components or not. So when we are talking about communication, so we are not just talking about if a communication is just in the sense of verbal, where we are making use of the language, but you also have to pay attention whether your non-verbal components are gelling with the verbal component or not. Then they would be checking the level of creativity or the creative thinking. where you whether you are capable to look at the topic from the fresh perspectives or not. It might be that the topic is such where already there are an established ideas that are there, but then to be whether you are actually a person who is capable to think outside the box and then go to be give the new ideas. So creativity is one such thing that they actually evaluate. And the last is your capacity to handle stress. Now, in group discussion, obviously, when it is not always necessary that group discussion will run in the smooth manner only. It might happen that there is a time when there is a kind of a thing that or your communication might your discussion might actually start going astray. Now at that time, as a member of the group, you should have that capacity where you can you can actually bring back the situation in the proper manner. You have to see to it that if there is any kind of dispute that is taking place between the members of the group, so you should have that capacity to handle that situation. You should have the capacity that it might happen that sometimes judges might be asking you the question, so you should have the capacity to handle that stress in a calm manner. It shouldn't be that because now there is there is a stress that is building up, you start acting in a panic manner. So individual is actually evaluated on the basis of the depth of the content, then your reasoning ability, your organizational acumen, communication skills, creativity, and capability to handle the stress. The another point that I said when the evaluation criteria takes place, that is related with candidate as a group member. Now, as an individual, obviously you are going to be judged, but then the way you are going to be also evaluated on the basis of your behavior as a group member. So there they would be actually or the evaluators who are actually there as judges, they would be looking at you as a member of the group, and they would be looking at your attributes like listening skill, whether you are actually listening to the another person in a proper manner or not, whether you are showing the respect or not. When you are even sharing your ideas, are you interrupting other people, or you are paying attention to others viewpoint without actually, or you are letting that person finish the sentence and then you are actually starting your point. So listening is listening is something that requires a kind of attentiveness on the part of the candidate, because you have to listen to the another person, so you can build your ideas from the points. In case if you have certain doubts, you can you can even ask for the solution during the process of the group discussion itself. So you have to see to it that as a group member you are listening to all the other members in a proper manner. Then as a group member, whether you have the skimming and the paraphrasing capacity or not, it simply means that quickly grasping others points and rephrasing them in to ensure clarity. For example, here I have said that when someone is talking about AI, so you can you can actually minimize whatever the long sentences they are speaking in the discussion, and then you can you can actually shorten those ideas in 1 to 2 sentences only. So how much capacity you have to quickly paraphrase those things in a proper manner and rephrase them, that is also one thing that they would be evaluating. Then obviously as a member of the group, they would be uh, trying to evaluate you from whether you are having the leadership quality, whether you have the capacity to be a leader. Now that leadership qualities are something that automatically becomes visible when you take the initiative. You try to keep the group on the right track only, when try to keep the focus of the group on the discussion only, where you encourage other participants to speak and share their ideas. Because see, when you participate in a group discussion, it is not something where all the members they would always be sharing their ideas. There are always going to be certain members who would just keep silent. Now as a good leader, and if you have those qualities, you would automatically try your best to bring those silent listeners into the discussion. You would try to make them the sharer of the idea, instead of just by just sitting there and listening to all other candidates. So Leader is one particular thing that they would be looking at, how much capacity you have to keep the track of the discussion. Also see to it that no, if there is any kind of dispute that is happening between the members of the group, then you can handle the situation, and you can bring those silent speakers in the discussion. So how much capacity you have to encourage other people and keep the focus on the track. Then as a group member, they would be looking at your body language from the perspective of whether your gestures are open and inviting or not, whether you have good posture, whether you are maintaining the eye contact with confidence or not. These are the things that they actually see, or they or the judges evaluate. And then the last point is group behavior. So maintaining cooperation, avoiding conflict, balancing things, that is what those are the things that they actually try to evaluate on the part of the candidate. Now, another thing that we have to discuss, that okay, these are the prerequisites of group discussion. Then the way, what are the types of the group discussion? What are the things that we should be keeping in mind when we are participating? Now, how to prepare for the group discussion? So these are certain things that we have to pay attention. So how to prepare for a group discussion? So with the first thing you can prepare for the group discussion, the first thing that as an individual you should go through is you should improvise your language skills. That is, work on your vocabulary, your grammar, your fluency to express ideas clearly. So practice speaking in English with friends or in front of a mirror. That is the best exercise that one can do. So this will automatically help you in improvising your language skills. There are certain sources of for preparation that I have given here. You can actually take a look at there. There are books. Then I have given you the apps, and then you can practice with friends, mirror speaking, or you can also use language clubs if there are certain you can. Try your best that you are participating in what the way in all the opportunities that are provided to you, when you can what the way you can share your ideas with another person, but you have to make sure that you are speaking in English language, so that will automatically what the way enhance your vocabulary. The second thing is you read about national, international issues. Now, national and international issues, then it can be what to be related with cultural issues, political issues, economic and environmental issues. This will help you in staying up to date with the current cultural or political scenarios. Uh, why we actually have to prepare, because it helps us in preparing for the group discussion. Okay, when you are going to participate in a group discussion, this kind of things, if you are having the habit of going through or reading this news, then it will automatically have you would have the basic knowledge related to the topics. So now you have you have the idea that what is the current situation that is there, and if the topic is related to that, you are having you are having your base preparation is already done. So there are certain again sources like websites, news analysis or magazines that you can go through when you are preparing for a group discussion. Then you have to follow important trends in your company. So be aware of emerging development in the society, technology and economy. Right now we know that AI is one such thing that is very much prevailing in the society. Everybody is talking about AI. So just knowing that okay, AI is there, but you also have to see to it that what is the trend that is setting there in your country, how people are, or what are the things that people are, or the way how you are looking at AI. So for how AI is, what the way AI is affecting the society as such. So you have to have the idea of the trends that are what the way that are going on in your country. Then you have to follow news extensively. So how can we do that? So we read newspapers, watch debates, scan reliable online portals. These helps in what the way having the better knowledge related to the topics that are actually what the way that are right now what the way in the discussion. For that I have given you the sources again. Then the way, obviously you should know the area of your interest inside out. When you say that you are interested in certain area, that you should know that particular area thoroughly. So have deep knowledge about subjects that you are passionate about. Their their the past of that particular patient, the present and the future. When we are talking about what is your area of interest, It shouldn't be that you say that okay, you are interested in classical music, and then when you are you're actually uh, participating in a group discussion, or you are actually asked certain questions, and you are a person who is who goes completely blind. This kind of thing should not happen. So you should have the inside out knowledge related to the area, or you should follow your passion in certain way. So then you should have the capacity to express your opinions based on facts and finding. Your arguments should never ever be something that is abstract or vague. When you are making a statement or you are sharing the idea, you should always have your view supported by the factual data, and you should have done some kind of research. So how to prepare for a group discussion? So you should see to it that you are researching, you are going or reading about the topic that is given to you. You should have you are a person who has done the a basic homework of the particular topic. So this is this is something that you have to keep in mind when you are preparing for the group discussion. You have to always put your statement that is that is having the base of the fact, and that is that is having the actual research found data. Then we use brief and clear sentences. uh, the the more certain your sentences are, the more direct and impactful it would be. So concise communication actually prevents you from sounding confusing or dominating. So respect time for others to contribute. So whatever topic or whatever idea you have, you want to share with the another person, that you should be doing in a clear concise manner, so that you can you can also, you are not the person who is grasping the time of other, or who is eating out the time of the other people as well. You have to see to it that you are giving time to other people to share their ideas as well. You are inviting them to share their ideas as well. It shouldn't be like you are the only one who is sharing all your idea. So when you know how to, when you have actually the proper vocabulary and the proper sentence structure, then this kind of things actually happen, when where you would be sharing your ideas in a brief manner. Practice with mock GDs. So obviously, the most important thing in the preparation of group discussion is you should try your best that you have the discussions with your peers to gain confidence and refine your strategies. Sometimes it also helps when you record yourself for self evaluation. So practice with mock GDs. Try to see to it that in in your classrooms also, you people are whatever you are arranging the group discussion. You share your ideas with the other people, so that will actually help you. Now there are certain online platform also that uh, uh, provides you a kind of a platform where you can whatever you can actually take the rounds of mock group discussions. For example, there are even certain platforms who they offer AI facilitated group discussions, where the participant who is actually practicing for that, they would be what they would give you the AI based, the participants, other they would create the other candidates. Now they would be what they would be posing the questions in front of you. They would be sharing the ideas, but you as a candidate, you have to do what you have to address all the ideas that are shared. So it they actually do what nowadays there are what AI based platforms that are available, who actually gives you an opportunity where you can what you would feel that as if you are participating in an actual group discussion only, where the all the other created or the imaginary participants, they would be posing the questions also. They would be they would be treating you as a person who is what who is actually appearing for the actual group discussion only. So you, for the practice, you can what you can actually use certain online platforms for your practice as well. Now when we are talking about group discussion, so there is certain techniques. There are three actually major techniques that people make use of for the conduction of group discussion. Now these techniques are actually those which comes handy when you are already working in an institute where you are established, where you have actually established yourself as an expert of the particular field. At that time, this kind of techniques are being actually used. The first one is the brainstorming, then there is nominal group technique, and the third one is the Delphi technique. So we'll be looking at all of them. The first one is brainstorming. Now brainstorming is nothing else but, here in this technique, what people try to do is they try to generate as many ideas as they can. Now in brainstorming, there is nothing like you are criticizing the another person or something like this. What you are doing here is you are just generating the ideas. So all the participants, whatever idea they have, they would be sharing that with the another person. So here in brainstorming, what happens, the way you can have n number of ideas related to the topic that is given to the participants. Now modus operandi of brainstorming is generally in when the technique brainstorming is used, it is a group of 6 to 12 people sit around the table. uh, they the evaluator would be directly clearly mentioning the topic that is or the problem. Member would suggest as many alternative as then they can actually come out, and then they would what the way they would uh, when they can no longer actually generate any idea, then they would what the way they would come out with a common conclusion. So in brainstorming, what happens, the way there is a problem, and then there is what the way you actually discuss as many ideas as you can, and the moment there is no longer any idea related to the topic, at that time people will vote, all the candidates would come out with a common conclusion. Now brainstorming is divided into two parts. The first one is the storyboarding, and the second one is the lotus blossom. So what happens in storyboarding? The way in storyboarding, participants identify major issues and brainstorm on each of them. Now, storyboarding is often used to solve complex problems. Right? In Lotus Blossom, a core thought is presented, and participants provide 8 ideas surrounding it. So, particularly, it is like the flower lotus. In that manner, actually, what happens? The way people would be generating the ideas, they would be sharing the each idea with the with another person, and then the way until and unless they come out with the final, or they can no longer generate new ideas, they would keep on generating, or they would be keep on sharing the new ideas that they are having related to the topic. The Lotus Blossom is the structure is in such a way that you would feel that it is what of it is actually like the flower lotus. So it is what of it is always going to be in that manner only, where people are what of it is. People will be sharing their ideas one by one, and then when they can no longer actually come out with any idea, at that time what of it, at that time the group discussion would come to an end. Now generally this process actually takes too much of the time, so it is actually used in when the problem is really very complex. At that time only people actually go for the Lotus Blossom. The next technique is nominal group technique, that is also known as the NGT. In this technique, though participants are physically present in the meeting, they operate independently. So you are there in one in very much part and parcel of one group only, but you would be actually discussing, or you would be evaluating the point on your own. So everybody is what to be part of the group, and even then they would be actually operating on their own individually and independently. Now, this technique does not allow interpersonal communication. So you are not supposed to, share your ideas with another person. You have to think of the topic. You have to jot down your ideas. You have to, then what the way when the given time is over, at that time each individual would be, called again, and they would be what the way you have to present your idea with the another person. There is no discussion as such that takes place in the nominal group technique, and then the way they vote, okay, which one is the best idea that any participant has come up with, and then that particular idea would be taken as the final solution of the problem. The last one is the Delphi technique. Delphi technique is actually the complex and the time consuming compared to other two techniques of group discussion. Now, Delphi technique is as such, somewhere similar to nominal group technique. But here what will happen, okay, in nominal group technique, participant at least is aware of, okay, who are the group members. But in nominal group technique, participants never meet each other face to face, and it Delphi technique does not even require the physical presence of the group members. The modus operandi of Delphi technique is generally people vote. The problem is there. Now a questionnaire would be prepared related to the problem, and this questionnaire would be then given to the participants. And they have to vote. They have to answer the questionnaire independently. After answering the questionnaire, they would be sending back the questionnaire that is given to them, and the result would be what. Then they would the person who has sent out the questionnaires, they would be what. They would be actually trying to find out which one is something that can vote that can actually accepted as the final conclusion of the problem. So in that manner, what Delphi technique actually works. But in Delphi technique, people uh, the thing that actually happens here is where generally participants who are participating in this kind of group discussion, they never meet each other. Their physical presence is also not required, and there is nothing like as such being creative, because you are given the questionnaire. Now you have to you have to answer that on your own. You can't actually discuss that with another person. And most of the time the Delphi technique is used in on the side of the research only, where people want to collect the data from the audience. So Delphi technique is something that is most of the time used in a very less manner. So with this, I think there is not even much time also. So if there is question from the students, then I would like to take them.
Thank you, ma'am. Really, it was a very nice session. Covering a topic like this definitely is a big task, because into every walk of life, uh, you are directly or indirectly involved into group discussions. And definitely, madam has tried to cover almost every aspects of this particular topic. So I really thank ma'am on behalf of GC Bhavnagar, on behalf of every student who would be watching this, either he or she was live or later on. Uh, the student would be watching, and definitely the student would be benefited. So I would like to extend thank from all those students to you, ma'am.
Thank you.
Ahuti ma'am is not there with us today. So on behalf of her also, I would like to extend a thank note to you. On behalf of GC Bhavnagar, Principal Sir, me as a coordinator, and every staff member as well as every student who would be benefited by your this session. So thanks on their behalf to you, ma'am. Uh, the session is on for 30 seconds, my dear students, for question and answer. If you have any questions, drop down into comment box and I would be asking that question on your behalf. Please. Ma'am, there's a question from one of my student. Uh, what are 2 or 3 points that differentiate a debate and GD?
Okay, the difference between GD and debate.
Students, we are on for 30 seconds. You can drop down your answers, your questions into comment box. 1 or 2 questions. Mostly, I take 3 questions, and then later on, if there are more questions, we would definitely. I would send your questions on your behalf to ma'am on her private WhatsApp number, and then she would answer me, and then हम मैं आपको बता दूंगा. तो ये क्वेश्चन है जो मैम को आपने एड्रेस किया है. जहाँ तक मेरा नॉलेज है बच्चा, वहाँ तक बिल्कुल सिंपल है कि ग्रुप डिस्कशन होता है, उसमें ग्रुप इन्वॉल्व होता है. और दूसरी बात होती है पर्सपेक्टिव्स डिफरेंस होते हैं. डिबेट में प्रोज एंड कॉन्स वाले 2 टॉपिक ही होते हैं. सो इफ आई एम विद द करंट और आई एम अगेंस्ट द करंट, दिस आर द चॉइसेस दैट हैपेंस. group discussion is a very open thing wherein different perspectives of a topic are taken up and they are discussed. Many times everybody would be discussing the same only with different examples to put their point forward. Still, you have asked to ma'am. I'm sorry that I'm answering that. नहीं मैम ही आंसर करेंगे उसको बट द सेशन इज ऑन. तो बच्चा आप लोग थोड़ा कमेंट कर दो तो मैं आपकी कमेंट करता हूँ तब तक कि मैम आंसर दे रहे हैं आपको प्लीज.
Well, the way actually sir said, the difference between GD, group discussion, and debate is the way sir said. Give a group discussion. Group discussion is the way I mentioned in the lecture itself. Give that is used for the the selection of the candidate. And here there is going to be one particular topic, and all the participants, whether it is 8 people or 15 people or whatever the number of participants are there, they would be having that one particular topic for the discussion. And when we are talking about the debate, then in debate most of the time it is in manner where there are going to be two sections. One would be for the topic, and the other section would be against the topic. Debate as such is not something that people would even accept that in when we are talking about the interview process or something. So debate is something that is being organized on the the topic that are on the public platform. But in group discussion, you have to see to it that it is something where all the group members and all the group members are discussing the one particular topic, and there is nothing like as such a competition in group discussion, because everybody is part of the group. But in debate there is a kind of a competition where you have to prove your point, that why my point is better compared to the other party who is also discussing the same topic. So there is actually a difference when we are talking about group discussion and debate. Debate is more on the sides of where we are discussing the for and against motion, while in group discussion there is nothing like that. There is a common
That's very nice, ma'am. One more question we are addressing. Is it better to initiate the discussion or wait and then speak in GD?
In group discussion, if you have the proper knowledge of the topic, you know that okay, this is something, and I am really a person who is having the in and out or thorough knowledge of the topic, then it is always better that you be the initiator, you take the leadership. But if you don't have that understanding, or you are not clear with the idea, then it is better that you let other person be the initiator, let the other person take the initiative. Because what will happen if
Where-
you don't have the proper idea and you are taking the lead, then instead of creating a kind of a positive impression of your group, you might end up in creating the negative impression of your group.
Absolutely right, ma'am. Students, GD probably is a type of thing that wherein there is a panel, right, of 4 to 5 or 7 or 10, whatever it is, right, and then it is the anchor who plays a very vital role in performing this. So if the format is such that the speaker allows you to speak on a particular time period, then it's all right, right? Then you have to wait for the chance and all. If the forum is open, there are different ways. Either you can raise your finger, or they have given some buzzer type of thing that that shows that you want to speak on a particular thing, and you have something to add upon those things. Speaking loudly, trying to bully people, these are not the parts of GD, because ultimately it's about perspective, the way you perceive things, and the way you want that this is how this topic should be dealt with. GD is all about those things. So definitely, ma'am, it was very nice session.
Thank you.
मजा आया, and thank you once again. आपके मैं पीछे पड़ा हुआ था कि मैम आपको आना है, and I'm really thankful because मैं ऐसा मानता हूँ literally कि together I alone cannot give justice to everything, and in fact sir हैं, आप हैं, और बहुत सारे टीचर्स हैं जिन्होंने ये सिलेबस फ्रेम करने में भी मदद की है, इसके अलावा भी सिलेबस फ्रेम करने में मदद की है, बी इट यूएचवी, बी इट एनीथिंग. So definitely you have a thought process, और वो thought process मेरे बच्चों तक कैसे पहुंचेगी. So this is a very nice way topics. और अभी मुझे I'll really end up on a very positive note that recently I was having a chat with a professor of our fraternity, and that professor was telling me कि यार अभी सारे टॉपिक ले लिए, अब मैं कौन से टॉपिक लूंगा. So literally I'm very happy that our fraternity works for all of us. So even I showed this to our commissioner sir when he came to the visit. So last series मैंने सारे बताए थे कि सर इस तरीके से, and he was really appreciating कि wow, what a nice way. मैंने कहा सारे सर अपने ही टीचर्स हैं, they are performing best at their institutions. So why not we as a collective unit perform best for all the students. तो आपका जो सपना है ये ऑनलाइन सेशंस का, तो हमने उसका एक छोटा सा मोड चालू करके रखा है. So on this note, positive note, it's a humble request from all of us that whenever we want again in phase 4, perhaps soon to come, you would be a part of it again, ma'am.
Thank you, sir.
phase 4 में. And thanks a lot from GC Bhavnagar. This is all from our side. Stay tuned for more. Thank you. Thanks a lot.
Thank you, sir.